Welcome to the Online Digital Marketing Podcast. We'll be discussing marketing strategies, trends, and tips that will help your business succeed in the digital age. Every episode, we'll be interviewing industry professionals and providing valuable insights on how to leverage digital tools for maximum engagement and ROI. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on the latest trends in online marketing.
So I want you to imagine waking up, right? You're pouring your morning coffee, you sit down at your desk, and you realize your business's front door has just completely vanished overnight.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And, not like a break-in, like erased. You check your phone, there are no calls coming in, you check Google Maps, and your business simply does not exist anymore.
It is, it is the absolute definition of a modern business nightmare.
Yeah.
You go to sleep as this, thriving local staple in your community, and you wake up as a literal digital ghost.
Right.
And honestly, the most terrifying part of the whole thing is just the sheer silence of it.
Yeah, 'cause the terrible thing about a physical disaster, like say a flooded showroom or I don't know, a fire in the kitchen is, well, the cleanup is awful, but at least your community knows exactly why you're closed.
Exactly, yeah. They can physically see the fire trucks.
Right. But you step into the world of local search visibility, and this disaster is, it's completely invisible to you until the revenue just abruptly stops.
Yep, it's a silent killer for local businesses.
So welcome to the deep dive, everyone. Today, our mission is to unpack a really intense stack of notes and this highly detailed 2026 PDF guide we've got, all about recovering a suspended Google business profile.
It's a dense read, but so important.
Super important. We are going to give you a clear step-by-step survival guide to getting your business back on the map. Because, if your listing suddenly disappears, you need a strict plan, not just, frantic guesswork. So, okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and the absolute most crucial thing to establish right out of the gate here is a total mindset shift.
Okay, what do you mean?
Well, if you are listening to this right now and you've currently got this, massive red suspended banner at the top of your screen, your heart is probably pounding out of your chest.
Absolutely. Total panic mode.
Right. It feels like an emotional attack. It feels deeply personal, almost like Google has suddenly decided you just aren't a real business anymore.
Which is incredibly insulting when you're working 80 hours a week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if we look at the source material, a suspension is not a judgment on your character. It's not about your work ethic or your business model.
It's purely mechanical, right?
Entirely.
Yes.
It is simply a very strict compliance review by Google's automated systems. And these systems, they're designed with really one primary goal, which is to verify data and protect the integrity of local search for the end user.
Right. The person actually searching on their phone.
Exactly. They're literally just algorithms sweeping billions of data points, and they're looking for absolute indisputable evidence that your digital data matches physical reality.
That actually makes sense when you consider the sheer, insane scale Google is dealing with globally.
Oh, the volume of data is just incomprehensible, yeah.
But, before we can actually fix the problem, we really need to understand the specific kind of injury the profile has sustained, right?
Yes. The diagnosis is everything.
Because I was looking through the notes, and I initially just assumed, a suspension meant you were completely dead in the water, just gone.
A lot of people think that, yeah.
Wait, so is a suspension always a complete death sentence for your online presence? Or are there varying degrees of being in the doghouse with Google?
There absolutely are degrees.
Right.
And diagnosing which one you are currently suffering from dictates your entire recovery strategy.
Okay.
The sources detail a very important distinction between two primary types of algorithmic penalties. You have a soft suspension and you have a hard suspension.
Okay, so in a soft suspension, I'm assuming you just, lose some features. Like maybe you can't post update photos or something.
It's a bit more severe than that, actually. But you are still breathing.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So in a soft suspension, your business listing actually remains visible to potential customers on Google Search and Maps.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right. So if they search your specific name, your knowledge panel still pops up on the right side of the screen. However, your profile status gets flipped on the back end to unverified.
Which means what exactly for the owner?
It means you, as the owner, are completely locked out of the management dashboard. You entirely lose the ability to update your hours. You can't respond to customer reviews. You can't change your phone number. You are locked out until that underlying compliance issue is resolved.
Man, that's like being locked out of your own car while the engine is still running. Like you can see it's burning gas, but you can't actually steer it.
That is a brilliant way to put it. Yeah, it's highly frustrating. But it's not immediately fatal to your daily revenue, right? People can still call you.
Right.
A hard suspension, on the other hand, that is the severe action. This is where the algorithm essentially just pulls the emergency brake.
The death sentence.
Exactly.
That way.
Your listing is completely removed from both Google Search and Google Maps. You vanish.
Poof.
Gone. Yep. Your local search visibility is entirely cut off, which means all those incoming calls, the map directions, the organic foot traffic, it all stops immediately.
Oh, okay. So a hard suspension means Google fundamentally distrusts my actual existence.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which is crazy because, like, I'm a real business. I pay my local taxes. I serve my actual customers. How does a multi-billion-dollar algorithm get confused enough to think I'm fake in the first place?
That's the million-dollar question.
It sounds like Google's system is acting like an overly strict bouncer at a club. So what exactly gets you kicked out of the line?
I love that bouncer analogy because the bouncer isn't standing there thinking about how nice of a person you are.
No, they don't care at all.
Right. They're literally just checking boxes on a clipboard. And the primary triggers we've synthesized from the sources, they almost all stem from the algorithm detecting a logic error in your geographic data or, a potential policy violation.
Okay, so what's the biggest offender?
The single biggest category by far is information inconsistency.
Like handing the bouncer a fake ID that just doesn't match your face? Or in this case, doesn't match your legal paperwork?
Exactly that. Using a business name on your profile that does not perfectly match your real-world branding or your official state registration is a massive, massive trigger.
Really? Just the name?
Oh, yeah. Because a lot of business owners try to engage in what's called keyword stuffing.
Ah, right, for SEO.
Exactly. They think about search engine optimization, and they really want to rank higher for specific search terms in their town. So instead of just calling their business, say, Bob's Plumbing, which is their actual legal name on their tax forms.
They change their Google title to something crazy.
Right. They change it to, like, Bob's Plumbing 24/7 Emergency Drain Repair, Cityville.
Which, I mean, honestly, that seems like a super smart marketing move if you don't know the rules. You definitely want people searching for emergency drain repair to find you.
Totally. It might seem incredibly smart for visibility, but the 2026 guidelines explicitly flag that as a direct violation.
Wow.
The algorithm views that extra text not as, helpful context for the user, but as strictly fraudulent data.
Okay, so name games are a huge red flag. What else?
Another massive trigger involves your physical address. You absolutely cannot use virtual offices, P.O. boxes, or unstaffed co-working desks as your primary physical storefront.
Wait, really? Even if I legally registered my LLC at that exact P.O. box for tax purposes?
The bouncer does not care about your tax mail.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the algorithm is trying to build a map for actual human beings to navigate the real world. It only cares about where a customer can physically walk up, open a door, and talk to your staff during your stated business hours.
That makes sense.
Right, so if the algorithm detects that your geographic coordinate is actually a UPS store in a strip mall, it initiates a hard suspension. Because a customer driving there expecting a massive plumbing showroom is going to have a terrible user experience.
Right, they're going to be furious at Google Maps for sending them to a mailbox.
Exactly. Google protects the map's reputation above all else.
That actually brings up the duplicate listing issue mentioned in the notes. I'm guessing that creates a similar, bad user experience?
Oh, definitely. But it also creates a massive logic loop for the back-end system itself.
How so?
Well, if you have two listings for the exact same business at the exact same physical coordinate, but, say, one says you open at 8 a.m. and the other one says 9 a.m., the system simply can't reconcile those conflicting data points.
So it just panics?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of guessing which one is right, it just suspends both of them to protect the map's integrity. And the same thing actually happens with aggressive, rapid bulk edits.
Like changing everything at once.
Yeah. If you log in and suddenly change your business name, your primary category, and your operating hours all in, like a 10-minute window, the system flags that as account instability.
So it thinks you got hacked.
Precisely. It assumes a bad actor got in, so it just locks everything down for safety.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Because the sources dive into a very specific scenario regarding service area businesses.
Yes, the SABs.
Right. So SABs, these are your mobile plumbers, your electricians, your home-based operators, basically contractors who drive to the customer rather than the customer driving to them. And the sources describe this deeply ironic situation that I'm just going to call the visibility trap.
Oh, the visibility trap is a huge pitfall. I mean, it catches thousands of legitimate, hard-working businesses every single week.
Okay, so imagine this. You have a home-based business owner. They operate totally out of their garage. And they really want more local city search visibility. That's right.
Naturally.
So they decide to publish their private home address on their Google business profile. They're sitting there thinking, well, if I put my pin on the map, I'll definitely rank better in my own neighborhood. But this exact tactic is a fatal error, right?
It is entirely fatal, yeah, because it blatantly violates Google's incredibly strict privacy and storefront rules.
How so?
The policy explicitly states that if you do not have permanent fixed signage, on-site staff, and consistent customer-facing hours at that specific location,
Which a house obviously doesn't have.
right, then you are strictly required to clear the address field and hide your location completely. You must set up a service area instead.
So by trying to be more visible and, proudly putting their house on the map, they literally trigger a hard suspension and get completely erased.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is that if you look at the mechanics of why, the algorithm is simply enforcing a literal, rigid interpretation of a physical storefront versus a delivery-based service.
It's just following the rules it was given?
Yeah, the algorithm doesn't hate home-based businesses. It's programmed to protect that end consumer we talked about. If a user relies on Google Maps to navigate to your address expecting a retail counter,
Right.
and they end up in a residential cul-de-sac with, a dog barking in the living room window, trust in the Google Map product completely drops.
That's a great point.
So the algorithm forcefully hides you to prevent that exact scenario from ever happening.
Okay, so understanding these triggers leads us directly to the most critical strategic shift that you, the listener, must make. Because knowing why you were suspended reveals why your very first instinct to fix it is usually entirely wrong.
Oh, this is the breaking point. This is where we separate the business owners who recover in a week from the ones who stay suspended for months on end.
All right, let me play the panicked business owner for a second.
Go for it.
Okay, so I wake up, my business has vanished, my phone isn't ringing at all, and I'm sitting here watching my daily revenue drop to absolute zero. My immediate visceral instinct is to smash that appeal button as fast as I can.
Of course it is.
I want to jump into the text box, type in all caps, please Google, I'm a real business, I have a family to feed, put me back online right now. Why is that the worst thing I could possibly do?
Because you are fundamentally misinterpreting the nature of the process you're in.
What do you mean?
Well, as the 2026 PDF guide states very clearly, this is a formal legal-style compliance review. It is not a customer service complaint inbox, and it's definitely not a simple SEO fix.
Okay.
So the absolute golden rule of this entire deep dive is this: never ever file an appeal until the profile is 100% compliant with the guidelines.
So you have to fix the crime scene before you call the detective.
Exactly. I mean, if you appeal first out of sheer panic and you just plan to fix the details later, you are just locking in your flawed data for the reviewer.
Oh, I see.
Think about the mechanics of the compliance queue. When you hit submit, a digital snapshot of your profile is sent to a reviewer.
Right.
So you are screaming in all caps that you are a real business, but the reviewer is looking at a snapshot that still has 247 Emergency Cityville stuffed into the title.
No.
And the address is still actively pointing to a P.O. box. The automated system, or even a human reviewer, sees that active violation and instantly clicks denied.
Wow. And the sources are incredibly clear on the danger of panic here, too. Causes repeatedly submitting anxious appeals, like every 2 days doesn't speed things up at all.
No, it actively harms your case. It is the worst thing you can do.
Because the spam filters catch you.
Right.
I assume the system sees someone just mashing the submit button over and over and assumes it's a malicious bot.
Yes, exactly. Submitting multiple tickets for the exact same suspended entity triggers these internal spam tripwires.
Oh, man.
It flags your whole account for instability, which actually pushes your case file further back in the queue. Or, even worse, it gets your Google account entirely blacklisted.
Which is unrecoverable.
Pretty much. So you have to do a detailed microscopic audit first. You must step back, force yourself to calm down, and review your digital setup line by line.
So what does a microscopic audit actually look like in practice for our listener?
Okay, it means opening up your state business registration, putting it on one side of your computer screen and putting your Google business profile on the other,
Side by side,
side by side. Does the name match to the actual letter?
right?
You need to remove the extra city names, remove the marketing taglines, check your primary category to ensure it accurately reflects your core service and nothing else.
Okay, that makes sense.
You have to hunt down and request the removal of any duplicate listings out there.
Yeah.
And if you are that home-based service area business we just talked about.
The visibility trap, people.
Yes.
Yeah.
You must go into the dashboard and physically toggle the setting to clear and hide your address before you ever even look at that appeal button.
Okay, so we're essentially preparing for a digital court case here.
That's a great way to think about it.
We've cleaned up our profile. It's pristine. We're wearing our best digital suit. Now we actually have to prove our identity. So what exactly constitutes Exhibit A for the Google judge?
Well, the sources explicitly define what they call the gold standard of evidence.
The gold standard. Okay.
Right. To prove your legitimacy, Google reviewers are not looking for your marketing materials. They don't care about your flyers. They're looking for official, state, or utility-level documents.
Which means what exactly?
This means official business licenses, localized utility bills, state tax records, and formal signed lease agreements.
Okay, so a handmade invoice from my QuickBooks account or like a screenshot of my really bustling Facebook page isn't going to cut it.
Not even close. Those are completely self-generated. You could make those in 5 minutes.
True.
The algorithm demands documents that are inherently difficult to forge and that require strict third-party identity verification to establish in the first place.
Right, like a utility company checking your credit.
Exactly. A piped water bill or an electric bill is physically tied to infrastructure at a specific latitude and longitude.
Oh, that makes sense. But what about a cell phone bill?
A cell phone bill, however, can be routed anywhere in the world, which is exactly why the sources note that cell phone bills are very often rejected as proof of location.
Wow, okay.
And here's the brutal catch to all of this. These documents must follow what's called the exact match rule.
Yeah, I read about this in the notes, and it sounds incredibly punishing.
Oh, it is the single highest hurdle in the entire recovery process.
Why is it so strict?
Because the mechanics of the review process often involve optical character recognition OCR software.
So a robot is reading it.
Yes. This software is scanning your uploaded documents before a human reviewer ever even lays eyes on them. So every single document you provide must match the information on your Google business profile exactly.
So wait, if my electric bill says Main Street Suite B, but my Google profile just says Main Street.
That discrepancy will trigger a logic failure in the OCR system.
You're kidding. Just the suite number.
Just the suite number. And that leads to a major delay or a flat-out denial. Even minor name variations, like having LLC on one paper and LLC with periods on the profile.
Seriously?
Yes. Or an abbreviation like Saint versus spelling out street. That can completely trip up the automated gates.
Man, it's literally a character-by-character matching game.
It really is.
Okay, so once you actually have those perfect, exact match documents gathered, the sources highlight a very specific, incredibly high-stakes detail about the submission process itself.
Oh, the 60-minute window?
The 60-minute window. Walk us through this because this sounds stressful. If I hit submit on the official appeals tool, I just assume my file goes into some massive Google inbox to sit and wait for weeks. Does the 60 minutes mean I'm racing a human reviewer to the finish line?
No. You aren't racing a human at all. You are racing the back-end system architecture itself.
Okay, explain it.
When you begin the official reinstatement request via the appeals tool, the system generates a unique, temporary session token for your specific case ID.
Okay, a temporary token.
Right. Once you finalize the text portion of the appeal and you hit submit, that unique token remains active for exactly 60 minutes.
Just 1 hour.
Just 1 hour. And during that hour, you have the ability to upload your supporting evidence files, your Exhibit A, through the portal.
Okay.
If you do it within the window, the system seamlessly bridges your uploaded utility bills and licenses directly to your case ID.
Right. But what if my internet drops? Or, I don't know, I decide to go search my filing cabinet in the basement for a tax document, and I just missed that 60-minute window.
Then the session token fully expires. The digital bridge collapses.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Your text appeal is sent to the queue without any of the gold standard evidence attached to it. The system literally cannot append those files to your profile ID after that window closes.
That is awful.
And an appeal reviewed without official attachments is almost guaranteed to result in a swift denial.
That is intensely stressful. So the main takeaway for the listener is very clear. Have all your exact match files saved directly on your desktop, ready to drag and drop before you even open the appeals tool.
100%. Do not go looking for paperwork after you hit submit.
So what does this all mean for timelines? Say a business owner does everything right. They clean the profile, they upload the perfect documents in 59 minutes. When do they get their map pin back?
Well, this is where you really have to manage your own expectations and just buckle in. The sources say you should expect a standard wait time of 1 to 3 weeks.
Weeks? With no incoming Google Map traffic?
Yes.
Weeks.
And if your business happens to fall into a highly spammed category like, say, garage door repair, locksmiths, or personal injury law.
Oh, right, the spammy ones.
Exactly. Or if you just have a really complex multi-location business with messy address histories, the queue can actually take even longer.
So what are you supposed to do in the meantime?
During this time, the absolutely most important thing to do is nothing.
Nothing.
Do not submit a second appeal.
Right, because of the spam filters.
Exactly. Keep your primary website and your social media active. Rely on your voice receptionists and your AI chatbots to capture whatever direct leads you can. But regarding Google, you literally just have to wait out the review.
Okay, let's explore the total nightmare scenario here.
What's up?
Let's say you follow this guide perfectly. You cleaned your profile. You gathered the piped water bill. You uploaded it perfectly in the 60-minute window. You waited 3 agonizing weeks. And you wake up to an email saying, denied.
Yeah.
It happens.
Is it game over? Do you just close up shop because the algorithm said no? No, you don't. A denial is not a permanent ban from the Google ecosystem.
Okay, that's a relief.
Yeah. It doesn't automatically mean your business is permanently blacklisted.
Yeah.
The sources emphasize that a denial usually just means a simple failure of evidence.
Meaning what?
It means your submitted documents just didn't sufficiently prove to that specific human reviewer or that specific OCR scanner that your digital footprint strictly matches your physical reality.
So what's the actual next move then? Do I just immediately appeal again?
You do not appeal again immediately.
Yep.
No. It's time for a microscopic reevaluation.
Back to the drawing board.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to compare your profile line by line against your official docs all over again. You are looking for the absolute tiniest inconsistencies that you missed the first time around.
Like the LLC thing.
Exactly. Is there an outdated phone number listed on a state tax certificate? Is there a variation in a suite number? And if you are genuinely stuck, the sources strongly recommend consulting the official Google Business Profile Help community forums, or, honestly, even scheduling a discovery call with a localized SEO professional.
Because doing it yourself didn't work.
Right. Because submitting a second-week appeal with the exact same messy records will just dig the hole deeper.
It's really interesting you mentioned getting outside professional help, because the 2026 PDF guide includes a very stark warning about the exact kind of help you should not use during this crisis.
Yes, he does.
It highlights the profound danger of relying on AI.
This is perhaps the most crucial warning for operating in the modern digital landscape.
The guide says to be incredibly careful using AI tools like, large language models to suggest listing updates or to actually write your appeal text.
Yep.
It says automation simply doesn't understand Google's strict policy context. I mean, it feels like letting an autopilot land a commercial plane in a Category 5 hurricane just because it technically knows the mechanics of flying.
That is the perfect way to contextualize it, actually.
Yeah. Right, because the autopilot doesn't understand the nuance of the actual storm.
Exactly. Think about how an AI language model is trained in 2026.
Okay.
It is trained to heavily optimize text for maximum engagement, maximum persuasion, and search engine visibility.
It wants to sell things.
Right. So if you ask an AI to, quote, fix your Google business profile description, it might suggest adding a dozen localized keywords to boost your SEO.
Completely unaware that doing so literally violates the core Google guideline against keyword stuffing, which is exactly what caused the suspension in the first place.
Precisely. It's a total trap. While automation is incredible for daily efficiency, writing emails or whatever, the Google compliance queue is a rigid, legalistic environment.
Right.
A human reviewer at Google is looking at your profile through a strict policy lens, not a marketing lens.
They don't care how catchy your description is.
They don't care at all. So if you use AI to generate updates or draft your appeal text, you must review every single suggestion by hand to ensure it actually complies with the physical reality of your business before it goes live.
That is such a good warning. Okay, so let's say the storm finally passes.
Hopefully.
We finally win the appeal. The profile is restored, the map pin is back, the phones start ringing again, thank God.
Best feeling in the world.
Right. How do we ensure we never, ever have to go through this 60-minute window of terror ever again?
Well, recovery is only half the job, really. Long-term protection is all about maintaining pristine consistency.
Okay.
The sources highly recommend creating an internal master file for your business.
Like a digital vault.
Yes. A simple permanent folder on your desktop containing your business license, your lease, your utility bills, maybe some high-resolution storefront photos showing your permanent signage, and your ownership details.
So if a well-meaning employee or, I don't know, the algorithm ever questions your legitimacy again, you aren't frantically digging through filing cabinets.
Exactly. You have the exact match proof ready to just drop into that 60-minute window in 5 seconds flat.
That's incredibly smart.
It saves so much panic. And having those on hand also prevents, new marketing agencies you might hire from making bad edits that contradict your master file.
Because you can just hand them the file and say, use only this data.
Exactly. And speaking of edits, you really need to make them slowly going forward.
Yeah, no bulk updates.
Right. If you legitimately need to update your holiday hours or change a subcategory, just do it one field at a time, maybe space it out over a few days.
So it looks organic.
Yes, because rapid bulk changes look exactly like account hijacking. And finally, you absolutely must ensure absolute consistency across all your web citations.
Okay, just to clarify for the listener, when we say web citations, we're really talking about everywhere else your business is listed online, right? Like your Yelp page, your Better Business Bureau profile, local Chamber of Commerce directories, things like that.
Yes, all of those digital footprints, your local SEO directories, and honestly, even the scripts used by your voice receptionists or your chatbots on your website, they all need to use the exact same business identity.
So it all has to match.
Completely. If your official website says Bob's Plumbing, but your Yelp directory still says Bob's Plumbing Cityville, and then your AI chatbot answers the phone with some third variation.
Algorithmic trust drops.
Incredibly fast. The data sweeps will catch that fragmentation eventually, and you'll be right back in the suspension queue.
Man, okay, let's bring this all together. If you're out there listening and your digital front door vanishes today, here is your actual survival guide based on everything we've talked about.
Let's hear it.
First, diagnose the suspension. Is it a soft suspension where you're locked out or a hard suspension where you are completely erased?
Right.
Second, understand the triggers, especially if you're a service area business caught in that visibility trap of showing your home address.
Very important.
Third, the golden rule. Fix all compliance issues before you appeal. Never panic spam the appeal button and trigger those bot filters.
Absolutely never.
Fourth, gather your gold standard exact match document state and utility level only, and make sure you hit that strict 60-minute upload window so the system can actually bridge your files.
The ticking clock.
Right. And finally, maintain a pristine master file so you never get locked out again.
It is a rigorously unsympathetic process, I know. But treating it like a calm, paperwork-driven compliance task rather than, an emergency marketing problem is what dramatically improves your odds of a swift recovery.
It's a lot to take in, honestly, but it really gives you back your control.
It does. And, sitting with all this material, synthesizing these recovery steps, it actually leaves me with a really fascinating paradox to mull over.
Oh, what's that?
Well, think about the business landscape of 2026.
Okay.
Every single business owner is racing to use AI, automated agents, virtual offices, and cloud-based tools to achieve ultimate efficiency, right?
Totally. Everything is automated now.
Right. We live in this era of infinite, frictionless digital flexibility, where a business can seemingly exist entirely in the ether.
Yeah, you don't even need a real desk anymore.
Exactly. Yet, Google's hyper-strict, manually verified algorithmic standards are actually forcing businesses to become more traditionally bureaucratic.
Oh, wow. I see what you mean.
Yeah. In the most advanced, hyper-modern digital ecosystem ever created, your literal survival on the map ultimately comes down to the most archaic thing imaginable.
A piece of paper.
A physical piece of paper like a localized water bill, perfectly matching a single suite number.
That is completely wild to think about. Your entire infinite digital life literally depends on your physical paper trail.
That really does.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. Take a few minutes today to check your own digital front door, make sure those exact match documents are sitting safely in a master file, and ensure your house is truly in order.
Because you never know when the algorithm is going to check your ID.
Exactly. Catch you next time.
Ready to take your online business to the next level? Subscribe to our digital marketing podcast and then join our Accountability for Success Mastermind. With expert advice from industry leaders, you'll gain knowledge and insights that will help you succeed in today's digital marketing world. From social media strategies to search engine optimization, we have all the tools you need. Learn from successful entrepreneurs and take control of your online success. Join the Accountability for Success Mastermind now at bit.ly/AFSM podcast.